Hello everyone, and welcome to a new episode of the best Reddit answers being read to you. Enjoy! What's the worst sex ed advice you received at school? I knew this genius at school from the football team who I once heard saying, yeah, so if you finish inside a girl, try your hardest to pee in her. The acidity of pee will kill the sperm. Fortunately, we were in anatomy class and my teacher heard it too. She gave us a quick and actual sex ed class right there and then. Sounds like an episode of South Park. You just slap her titties around, stick it inside her, and pee. Cartman. We had an abstinence educator talk to my 10th grade class about some activities that didn't involve vaginal intercourse. Some kid in the back of the room recommended anal. It was all over at that point. I mean, they're not wrong. Poop hole loophole. Duck mine the donkey 'cause I love Jesus. We were told that a wet dream produced an amount of fluid tantamount to wetting the bed. They didn't even tell us what fluid it was. Okay, so I've always been confused by this. Are wet dreams orgasmic every time? You get to wake up to coming in your pants? Or is it different, and it's like you wake up going, huh? That's not jizz, what is that? And it's like the same thing as when girls squirt, and it's not quite pee, but something else? I'm so sorry this sounds so dumb, but I have questions and I want answers. The STD talk during my middle school's health class comprised of a vague video showing a paintbrush dipping into various paints, one after another, until there was a messy smear of colors everywhere. The advice was, verbatim, girls, don't let other people's paint get anywhere near you. Art class afterwards was real fun though. My school did this with Skittles. They gave each person a bunch of Skittles of one color. Then you were supposed to shake hands with 5 other kids and swap one Skittle when you did, so you end up with Skittles of various colors. Then at the end, they said handshaking was sex, and the Skittles are STDs. Yellow is HIV, red is gonorrhea, etc. They gave each Skittle a disease. Look how many STDs you have after having sex 5 times. Then we all ate the Skittles. Not sure where that fit into the mediocre analogy. When I was in middle school, an 8th grader told me that men have a set number of sperm, so if I masturbated too much I'd never have kids. If that were true, I think most men would be infertile by their 20s. Lul. Yes, 20s. If you're infertile by the time you're 15, you'd still be infertile by your 20s. I'm 24 and when I was a freshman in high school my health teacher legit told us that women could get pregnant by just sleeping naked next to a man. She told us of her best friend who never had sex, but kissed and hugged a man naked and got pregnant. I mentioned my age because that kind of bat poop crazy take on sex ed seemed outdated to us and it was relatively recent. It was a public school too, BTW. Yeah, she would get naked just to kiss and hug. Seems like a legit story. It was unsolicited sex advice from a psych TA. Don't go into dark alleys because you will end up having sex in there. With who? No freaking idea. Maybe the Weird Alley Sex Goblins. Weird Alley Sex Goblins. Sounds like an amazing band name. Isn't it an album by RHCP? Close. They have an unreleased track called Rap It Twice, just as nice. The condoms rub against one another and have a greater chance of breaking. One is fine. What you do is you put one on and then add hot sauce and then put on the other one. You will notice if one of them breaks. Or she will. If you have sex, you will get gonorrhea, and you will die. Guess I'll live a long life. Live long and prosper, brother. Our teacher told us all the different types of sex, oral/vaginal/anal, and some girl asked him if finger banging counted as sex. He said, no, it doesn't. The girl then proudly proclaimed that she was still a virgin. That was grade 5 folks. Like 11 years old? More like 10. As a guy, the only thing I learned from sex ed, and this was for all the boys to learn once the girls were separated, was that pregnancy can happen and this what an anatomically correct penis is. An anatomically correct penis? Were they trying to shame some poor kid? If you ask any questions I'm gonna assume your penis is wrong. I'm looking at you, Sarah. I had no sex education. Not from parents or school. Our school's excuse for sex ed was a 1-hour presentation where the girls and boys were separated. Girls were taught about periods, what an STD was and how pregnancy happens. Nothing about actual sex. Nothing about men's bodies. Nothing about safe sex. Nothing about birth control. I had never heard of a clitoris until I was 14. Thank God for the internet. Seriously, I don't know what I would have done, and that's the message that we deliver to little kids and expect them not to know what a woman's clitoris is. Well, of course they're gonna know what intercourse is by the time they hit first grade. They've got the Discovery Channel, don't they? We ain't nothing but mammals. I basically had the same sex ed they gave in Mean Girls. The whole condoms don't work, pills don't guarantee 100%. So if you have sex, you will get pregnant. If you have sex, you'll get pregnant and die. You obviously didn't go to Catholic school. At Catholic school it's get pregnant, die, and burn in hell. And that's concentrated evil coming out the back of you. When I was homeschooled, my mom told me that masturbating caused cancer because you'd be too aggressive to your ballsack due to the motion. I feel bad for my father now. That's ironic because it actually helps to prevent prostate cancer. Cancer-free for 90 years. You guys got sex ed? Cries in Eastern Europe. Cries in private Christian school that I hated so much and am glad I got out this year. Parents remember the quickest way to raise an atheist is to send them to Catholic school. In primary school they decided to separate the boys and girls classes and show the boys the girls' sex ed video and vice versa. Not a clue what was going on in their heads. We had ours in 5th grade. It made for a very uncomfortable few weeks after. When I was in 7th grade, my mom, who taught chemistry and biology in the high school, was drafted to fill in during a junior high bio teacher's maternity leave. That teacher usually taught health class, sex ed to 7th graders. I wanted to die. What would have been your answer or question? Leave it in the comments below. Slap that like and subscribe button for more, and check out the link in the video description for even more answers. Peace out, and catch you in the next video.